Please welcome the Global Webit Congress founder and chairman, Plamen Rusev.
Good morning. Thank you. Great to see survivals this morning. Great to see survivals. Are you okay? I was going to ask to have some whiskey and wine at the entrances because, you know, in Bulgaria we say a stick takes the previous stick out. I don't know if you can translate that your languages. I know it's a stupid Bulgarian one, but at mornings like this, I'm stupid. So thanks for being here. It's so sad to see an empty room, for God's sake. I would never, ever, ever do parties until 4 a.m. in the morning, I swear. It was like, actually, do you want the same party next year? Yeah? You don't have, do you want it? Okay, then let's do it and forget about it. Thanks a lot for joining. Thank you for being back here. Thank you for giving your time and efforts, because it was a huge effort even for me this morning. I woke up and I said, oh, do I have to go today? You know, but I appreciate it. So I really understand it, and thank you so much. I'm not going to take much of your time because I think I already gave my heart and soul and said what I wanted to tell you yesterday. Just a few words of appreciation for the amazing team here, people who are doing a great job, to the wonderful venue who are trying to feel us at home. Of course, to my amazing team that are here today. If you need them, they're always at your disposal. To all the great startups which are in the Founders Games, who came from all around the world, as you can see written on their clouds, and who are not only looking for your attention, but actually they are here to create solutions for you. You just go there and check them out. It would be great. A few more words for, if you let me, just 1 minute for information about what's next at Webit, and also where to find Webit during the next year. So today we're going to have 3 amazing streams here. One is about to start. It's about digital commerce. Next is mobile. And the last one is social media strategies and storytelling. 3 amazing panels with truly phenomenal speakers. And I'll be honored to announce the first one here in a couple of minutes. So get ready for a full day of great content. And we kept the last session with truly amazing representatives of global brands, such as Lego Global Social Media Director, Lufthansa. We have, wow, it's too early, I guess. I still feel some, you know, big iron things in my head. But yeah, you can see it on the agenda. Please use the mobile application to check the full agenda. It's always updated there. You know that we are already half an hour late today because of Fashion TV. I will blame it on Adam. So to finish this, just to say a few words about Webit this year. We are moving, of course, our next events are one in Dubai, which will be, I think, in the very beginning of April. So if anybody interested in Middle East and Africa, that's the place to be. It's a great invitation-only event. So you can apply on our website and then meet all the global players of Middle East and Africa in one place. Of course, the Central Eastern European event, which is back in Bulgaria, my home country, in Sofia. And a bunch of new ones, very interesting. Stay tuned. One for Far East and another one for Western Europe. So I hope you're going to enjoy them all, or at least we're going to meet at different spots around the world. We are building the Webit community more and more. We are pushing more and more efforts there. We're already ready with the social networking platform, which probably most of you started using. Hopefully you've started using. If you mouse over register on our website, then you click on my profile, log in with your email and password. Then you can see a list of all registered attendees. You can start messaging them, and we are upgrading this system further and further. So we are trying to call now you not attendees of Webit, but Webit community. And we feel like this about you. Hope you feel the same. Again, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Wishing you a wonderful day. Probably we meet each other around. Again, ping me. Yesterday, nobody told me there was a problem with the toilet paper. Obviously, there wasn't. Thanks again for the organizers. But if anything, just ping me on Twitter. It's Plamen Rusev with @ in front. Thank you very much. Great day. Thanks. And since I'm on the stage, let me change everything now. Guys, I know you hate me, but I cannot, I need to do this. So change the scenario a little bit, because I want to invite here on the stage personally ARIEL, the founder of Hybris. Now you can play the music. Please, a warm welcome to ARIEL. I changed it because I know there is a special announcement of you, but I wanted to do it personally.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present you a person who knows how to say no to 750 million euro. Actually, no. He knows how to say no to 15, then to 30 or 100, and then 150, and then 30, then 750, to end up with amount of almost double this one by exiting Hybris to SAP, but still being the leader of Hybris, still leading the innovation, still leading the global development, still leading what Hybris is famous for globally. So it's an amazing, amazing honor for me that you accepted our invitation and you joined us on stage. Thank you for doing it, and wishing you a great time at Webit. Thank you. A warm welcome to ARIEL. Thank you.
Happiness is the truth, because I'm happy. If you know what happiness is.
Hello, everybody. I heard you had a good party. I hope your headache is getting better. To get into the groove, I actually wanted to show you a quick video. Can you just start it?
We can make those connections ourselves. That's even better. But the best experience we have with technology is when it disappears, gets out of the way, when it becomes invisible. When as users we feel as if we're interacting directly with a service, because then it feels like magic. So let's watch what happens when Dina, Clara and Ellie combine some Hybris commerce functionality, Facebook and their phones to enhance their shopping experience. Using a gesture-based product navigator, Dina finds some shoes that are perfect for a special date. Sadly though, the store is closed for the day, and as you can see, she's pretty disappointed. Luckily though, Clara notices an NFC tag in the window. In no time, Dina's added the shoes to her wish list and shared them on Facebook. Everyone's happy. But our story hasn't ended just yet. A few days later, Dina's walking near the store when she receives a geo-fenced alert. And she sees that those shoes are on sale and just around the corner. Offline, online, social, mobile. With Hybris, everything's connected. It's the future of commerce now.
Great. Don't we all hate these smooth videos with beautiful, smiling people demonstrating fake technology? Have you seen those videos? Well, I kind of hate them. The fact, though, most of this is actually real technology. I have to admit, the one with the kinetic, you know, this gesture-based stuff didn't really work. We had to take the shot, the scene about 50 times until it worked out. But the rest is actually real technology. So why are we doing this? Because retailers, brands, manufacturers have to prepare to engage with the customers the way they want. We cannot predict or control them or move them into a flow. They actually want to interact with us, with enterprises, the way they want. So we have to connect channels as much as possible and be prepared to support any journey that the customer wants to do. So it's all about connecting things. We're doing other things, for instance. When you watch TV, or at least myself, when I watch TV, I always have an iPad with me. I don't just watch TV now any longer. So we're actually doing experiments to connect the TV channel with the iPad. We're doing this by embedding ultrasound into the sound of a movie, for instance. Just imagine fashion TV, like yesterday. If the iPad would show you synchronous the content of the fashion TV, or you watch a movie and the iPad shows you background about the movie, about the actors, and the clothing they're wearing, and you can buy it in an instant by clicking a button. That's kind of stuff we're doing. We're just trying to connect things and enable customers to engage with us the way they want. I think we have to rethink the way we engage with the customers. We have to redo this industry. Industries have been redone before, and I'm not going to talk about Apple. We all know about this. But I want to tell you a quick story. On Tuesday, I picked up my Tesla Model S. I'm really fond of this car. I have to admit, I only drove to the airport until now. It brought me there. So what's interesting about Tesla, it's totally revolutionizing the automobile market. Not just because it's electric, fully electric. It also looks like a real car. It's also very fast. It's 4.4 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour. It's also connected with me. You have a stream on IoT. This is an example of IoT. Through my mobile phone app, I can see where the car is. I can look at the temperature in the car. So when I'm in bed, it says, oh, it's really cold, the car. I can start heating it up. Or I can start cooling it down. Really cool stuff. The more important thing is also that they're changing the whole thing around it. So Tesla offers supercharger stations. I can go there and fill up my car with electricity for free, forever. So like free gasoline. It takes half an hour to fill it up. If I don't want to wait half an hour, they're now starting to replace the battery in 90 seconds with a full one. That's actually half the time it takes me to fill up my car, gasoline car, with a 100-liter tank. So they're really changing things. But what's really interesting is that they totally changed the way I'm interacting with a car. There are no buttons in this car. It actually has a better screen in the car than on my MacBook Pro. It's also bigger than the one on my MacBook Pro. I think it's 17-inch, much higher contrast. There's no dials, there's no buttons. Everything goes through this screen. And the best part of it is it doesn't have a manual. Have you ever bought a car? I'm from Switzerland, so I usually get about 3 thick books. One in Italian, which I throw away, one in French, which I throw away, and the one in German I keep. I have to, and when I want to do something, I have to dig it up and find out how to switch this on or off. In the Tesla model, I don't need one. I just get it. I understand. I can work with it. And it has additional things like integrated free subscription to streaming music services, and so on, and so on, and so on. My navigation panel is this big. Google Maps, Google Navigation. That's how we can change industries. So what I'm talking about here, we have to accept that we lost control, we, retailers, brands, manufacturers of our customers, and we have to start thinking outside in. Everybody's talking about, oh, we need a complete view of the customer. That's totally wrong. You have to think about, from the customer point of view, that the customer has the complete view, the total view of the brand. And this will change how you implement processes. If you always go from inside out, you look at this from a totally the wrong perspective. And we all know that this linear flow of this pipeline, you do a commercial on TV, people come to the store, they buy it, they're gone, is over with. It's finished. And you have absolutely no control over the customers. Everything we learned in school, or most of it, who studied marketing, remember this big book, I forgot who wrote it, and explaining the 4 Ps of marketing, what is it? Product, price, promotion, and place. There's many more Ps right now, many more other letters there. It's much more complicated today. So the journeys of today's customers, and you know this much more, this is an example of a customer purchasing a phone from a phone retailer or a telco company. They're looking for information, making a decision, purchasing the product, switching between channels. Sometimes he's online, sometimes in the store, sometimes he's calling up. Maybe there's a problem with the delivery, there's a problem with the product. Once they call up the call center, they might give him another idea, so he's making an additional decision and purchasing something more. So these journeys are totally unique now. We have no clue how customers will interact with us. Our duty, however, is to prepare an environment where customers can actually navigate and contact us in any channels that we want. I think it's quite simple. We want, now us as consumers or enterprise buyers, we want 3 things. One thing is, please, make sure I will always get the same information independent which channel I'm touching. Sounds very reasonable. So if I look up on the mobile app a product, or if I look on the website, or if I talk to the call center, if I look in a printed catalog, or if I go to the store and ask a store clerk, or look at the label in the store, it should always be the same information. What the technical features, the price, the availability, and so on. If one channel gives me a different information that's conflicting with the others, I'm getting confused and I'm not purchasing the product. It's very simple. But that means you need a single source of truth that's actually delivering content to all these channels. The other thing is, I would like to be able to switch from one channel to the next without having to repeat myself. Remember the things, you're online, you're looking at some maybe complex technical product, you're stuck, you don't know, is it the real one I really want? You press this little button, click to chat or click to call, and somebody is actually talking to you. But this person wants to know everything from the start. Who are you? Where are you? What are you looking for? And so on. You have to start explaining yourself. It's really annoying. I really hate this situation. Why can't they know exactly who I am? I mean, I'm on their website, maybe even logged in. They should know what I've searched for. They should know what I'm looking at right now. And then they can just give me the answer to the question that I have. That's a level of integration that we need in the future, and not standalone channels. And the third one is, I would like to get treated the same way on every channel. I know this is digital commerce, what we're talking about, but there's also the offline world, which has to be connected to the online world, to the digital world. So what's happening right now in many companies is they treat me like their best friend online. You know these websites. They say, "Oh, ARIEL, great, you're back. I know you purchased these pants 2 weeks ago. We have now, how's it going? We have now this great polo shirt in black for you. Are you interested?" And so on. They really treat me as if they know me forever. But then, if I go to a store of the same brand on the weekend, with maybe my unshaven on the weekend, with my old jeans, I walk in there. And I see already the store clerk there, looking there. They're not looking in order to help me, but they think they're going to shoplift something. Why can't they know me there as much as they do digital? They only do this because digital right now is easy to pretend, at least, that people know me. This treatment should be the same digitally or offline, and that's something that our customers are doing more and more. So we have to accept these 3 facts. We lost control, rules of marketing are changing, and the customer journey is totally unpredictable. So we only have to connect these things and power it with a single source of truth, have context for the customer, and provide them a good engagement. The problem that we have right now is that there usually is a gap. We have about 600 customers, the biggest brands like from H&M to Nespresso, from big manufacturers to whatever. This is actually from a Forrester report. It's called the Consumer Gap or something. It's a report you should read. It's really interesting. That's the problem that we have. That's what I was talking about before. There's a gap in context. They don't know me. In what situation am I right now? Am I ARIEL, the software CEO? Am I ARIEL the dad? Am I ARIEL the husband right now? They just don't know enough about my context. So you have to get more context. Relevance, what's relevant to me right now? Convenience, responsiveness, and so on. And that's something we have to provide to make this engagement much better. So how do enterprises have to engage? Well, you have to close this gap. You have to provide me with content, with an engagement based on the context that I'm in right now. This is a screenshot I took a couple of days ago of myamazon.com. Now, I'm using Amazon. And as you can see, I'm reading a lot of science fiction. But it's probably one of the worst websites you can think of. It's very 90s, I would say, the way it works. It's very product-focused. But it's hugely successful. Why is it successful? Because it's actually working. Amazon is more a logistics company than an e-commerce company. They invest more in logistics and distribution centers than in their front end. And luckily it shows. And the personalization they're using, we have been using since the 90s. It's collaborative filtering, very stupid personalization, which has no context at all. So, when you buy a Winnie the Pooh for your godchild, and then you buy a book for IPO, they probably think you're a pedophile investment banker. So the conclusions they make is very weak, and the recommendations they make very weak. And it's in many cases the same way. I just booked a few hotel rooms at Booking.com. You probably know I'm one of the biggest ones. We had a family gathering, a marriage. Our house was already full. I live in a very small town, so I booked some rooms for my friends and families in my hometown. And now what happens? I get all these last-minute emails about rooms in that hotel in my hometown. Why can't they figure it out? It's probably a one-off thing that I've done. I'm really not interested in the capacity of this hotel in the town that I'm living in. So these are the things where it's missing context, and it's actually more annoying than anything else. Some better examples are the benefits that you get once you really connect these channels and give the consumer to navigate to these channels the way they want without having to guide them. Is, for instance, Nespresso, a customer of ours, and Swiss, that's why I like to present it. So they do about 3 billion revenue, 80% of them online. They have about 300,000 orders a day. And they have this huge complexity, first with countries and languages, but also with channels. They have mobile apps, they have browsable websites, they have call centers, they have the boutiques, they have the loyalty club. Right now it's, I think, about 15 million Nespresso Club members. And they do B2C business, but also B2B for companies ordering these capsules. And when you go there, you will see they actually know you better, and they actually know your preferences. And it's actually very simple. They only have 20 products, 20 different flavors of coffee, and they do 3 billion. But the benefit they are seeing by really connecting these channels have increased their revenues dramatically. And this is not just B2C. It's actually in B2B the same way. It cannot be anymore that me as a private person have these great experiences, for instance, going to Nespresso, and then when I'm at my job and I have to purchase something for my company, and I go to a place where I want to buy something, and I get an order form to fill in, just a form, pang. Enterprise buyers now want to have the same customer experience like they have in a private life, and they're actually pushing their suppliers to provide this. And that's why it's totally revolutionizing the way B2B business is happening. because you can do recommendations there, you can do upsells, you can do cross-sells, you can do promotions. It's the same way you can do personalization, and it's actually much more complex there. I have an example here, Grainger. It's the largest MRO company, MRO meaning everything you need to maintain, operate, and repair stuff in your company. You know, they do 9 billion right now, total revenue, lots of stores, they have mobile call center, they have catalogs, they have 14 terabytes of data, mostly price data and order items. Now, once they integrated these channels and provide call center clean integration, mobile, the stores, the web, and have one experience for their customers, they're now reaching a third of their business online, so 3.2 billion. Their revenue increased 21% in the online channel. The online orders went up 17%. The average order value went up 3%. And, and it's complex. They have 2 million customers and 1 million products. And usually every customer has a negotiated price. So there's a lot of complexity in there. So as a summary, what I want to say is we have to reinvent the way we engage with our customers. We cannot guide them through that funnel anymore. We just have to provide an infrastructure and a customer experience that they can actually interact with us as a brand, retailer, or manufacturer the way they want. And we have to provide the consistency and the trust that actually people in the end purchase and become a lifelong customer. Thank you very much.